You've likely seen this headline, but have you heard of Operation Just Cause, or the U.S. invasion of Panama during the 1980s? This is a prime example of U.S. imperialism in Latin America, driven by the defense of capitalist interests and the suppression of anti-imperialist movements. Multiple things can be true, and I want you to keep that in mind as we dive in. So let's talk about Manuel Noriega. You might know him as a dictator, but he was more than that. A double dipper, if you please. He began his career as a CIA informant while studying at Chorrillos Military School in Peru. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, continued to provide intelligence on communist activities throughout Latin America, making him a valuable asset to the U.S. The U.S. showered him with support, conveniently overlooking his involvement in drug trafficking. Why? Because Noriega served the U.S. strategic interests in the region. He was an American darling until his drug dealing and corruption became too obvious to ignore, creating political pressure within the U.S. to sever ties. Then came the end of the Cold War, and Noriega suddenly became expendable. Enter the Monroe Doctrine, the U.S. justification for the invasion. The U.S. claimed it was necessary to maintain regional stability and security, particularly given Panama's instability under Noriega. They argued it was about defending democracy and protecting U.S. citizens and securing the Panama Canal. But was this actually about the Panamanian people? The U.S., remember, managed the Panama Canal during this time. Should the operation be about maintaining U.S. dominance over a crucial trade route, a cornerstone of global capitalist flows? Operation Just Cause, launched on December 20th, 1989, inflicted significant civilian casualties and widespread displacement, particularly in working-class neighborhoods like El Chorrillo. The heavy bombing exacerbated economic inequalities, leaving many Panamanians to rebuild their lives with little support. This invasion starkly illustrates the devastating consequences of imperialist interventions, where the pursuit of political objectives often comes at the tremendous cost of civilian populations. The invasion ended on January 3rd, 1990 with Noriega's surrender, and the U.S. forced to surrender by blasting his head out with really loud rock and roll music. Did this bring democracy to Panama? Not exactly. The U.S. installed Guillermo Endara as president, circumventing free and fair elections. Endara was essentially told, take the presidency or we'll occupy Panama. So he reluctantly accepted. However, Endara implemented neoliberal economic policies that favored American interests. He prioritized foreign investment and free market reforms, ensuring Panama remained economically subservient to the U.S. To this day, the Panamanian people continue to protest U.S. actions, from annual commemorations of the invasion to demonstrations during visits by U.S. officials, such as the recent visit by Senator Blinken. These protests reflect the ongoing trauma of Operation Just Cause and the enduring resentment towards American imperialism.